Hello and welcome to Wedflics, another episode brought to you by Unveiled Network. I'm Julia Braime, I'm your host and the editor of Unveiled magazine and the founder and editor of top UK wedding blog Brides Up North. Today I am interviewing a very special lady, Sarah Glynn of Sarah Glynn Photography, and this one is for the aspiring wedding photographers out there. We're going to talk with Sarah about starting her business, branding, building her business, getting those first bookings, working together on styled shoots, and loads more. Welcome to Wedflics and our YouTube channel for Unveiled Network. So Sarah is a fantastic Northwest-based photographer that I have had the pleasure of working with a lot. Sarah, she's a good friend too. Do you want to introduce yourself, please, and your business?
Okay, my name is Sarah Glynn and I'm a photographer. And I just love shooting weddings. I have really fun couples and that's what I do.
So Sarah works on weddings. Do you work all over the UK or are you more sort of Northwest? Or?
No, definitely all over the UK. I do have lots of weddings in the Northwest, but I'll go abroad. This year, hopefully, I'm going to Ireland and Spain. But yeah, I go all over.
Fantastic. And Sarah also does a lot of commercial work too. So she will and she also shoots for our magazine regularly. She actually shot the cover of the issue that's out now. What a beauty. I'm surprised you can move so fast, it's so heavy. So Sarah shot the cover, so I'll drop a link to the app here and also to our shop if you want to order your print copy. We are shipping on a weekly basis at the moment. We're filming this during lockdown in the UK, but this episode will obviously continue and be out there after that. So this video is one for the industry actually. So we're taking a bit of a look with Sarah at her photography business, really successful business, and also things that you can do once we're out the lockdown phase to kind of grow your own business and collaboratively. So Sarah, how did your interest in photography begin?
So in 2012, I was working for this bag company in Manchester, and we kind of do photo shoots in the Northern Quarter with fashion bloggers, and we just go to really cool bits, all the graffiti, and I just loved it really. So started doing it then, and then in 2016, I actually thought, I'm going to start my own business, and it's kind of gone on from there, and went into weddings and just love it.
So were you actually taking the photos for the shoots in the Northern Quarter, or were you part of the team in another way?
So I was doing the marketing for them, and I was taking the photos as well, and it just, yeah.
Oh, cool. So did you have before that, did you have experience with photography, or you literally just kind of work learning on the job?
Literally learning on the job, and kind of my boss would be quite firm and be no, this isn't good enough, you need this, think, go away, look at that, look at the light, look at the composition, and she had quite high standards. That was kind of really cool. But I've always kind of been creative and arty and weird.
Yeah. Can we just draw attention to the fact I am used to this, what Sarah is wearing on her face. Sarah brings the glitter and the dazzle to every single photo shoot, every single wedding. And it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Why do you wear your face gems?
I kind of feel really normal, but I feel I'm meant to be wearing this, and it's a bit of a character. And when I go to weddings and shoot them, people are oh, that's nice, what's that for? And I'm well, to make you happy and relaxed, and it really does. I think kind of people can think photographers are quite scary, and they're what do we do? And they do weird things, the body goes like this, and they see this, and they're not scared, they're just relaxed.
Yeah, I think the fact that it took me a couple of questions to actually address the fact that you are wearing a full face of face gems just shows that this is how I normally see you. If Sarah was to turn up without face gems, I'd be oh, what's up? Have you cut your hair? You look different.
I remember once I went to this thing and people saw me without my jewels on. They're who are you? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, it's a really nice way to kind of, it sets your brand aside as something kind of quirky, fun, although you do still deliver on the content. Your pictures aren't gimmicky, and it is definitely an icebreaker. And I guess that if you're kind of shooting groups of guys in the morning of the wedding or shooting the bridesmaids, that is going to kind of make them relax, and you're look at me, I'm wearing this, you can at least pose for a picture, so, or not, as the case may be. So yeah, that's
well, they're wow, this is interesting.
Yeah, who is this woman? So moving on from the face jams, so did you have any formal training, or have you taught yourself?
So a bit of both. Like kind of before I went into doing weddings like properly, I thought I've got to like make sure I do loads and loads of shoots. So I just literally like did thousands and thousands. So I understood like people, how to relax them, the light, the different elements, like because there's just so much to it. And on a shoot, you're obviously, it's a real situation, you're under pressure. And then I got to a point where I did a little training with Johnny Draper, and he was like, he was really good and like really approachable, and I love his like work and everything. So I decided to do a mentorship with him for 6 months, and it kind of like really helped me grow in confidence, like look at my business, how to run things that I did. So I did another 6 months with him, and it was absolutely
fantastic. We're actually going to have Johnny on the YouTube channel. I will drop a link to his business as well here, because we're all about supporting each other at the moment.
I went him for training too. He was fantastic.
Yeah, for the training side of things, that's what I mean. Yeah, I've actually been a guest speaker at some of his training courses, and I sat in on the other training, and I'm not a photographer at all, but there's so much that I took away from it, just from a business point of view as well. And I think that it is important, I think, to invest in your business and to invest in things like training. I don't mean kind of like university course type training. I mean kind of like when you're working on the job and then furthering your business through kind of supplementing yourself with almost like little modules.
Yeah, and it definitely, and it's kind of like you think about your website, who you are, your brand and your identity, and just like figuring out like who you are and what you're going to do, like what are your ethics, and then making sure that everything's done properly. And the admin side, because there's so much, it's not just turning up with the camera, there's like so much to having your own business, how you deal with people. So yeah, it's important to invest in that.
Yeah, for sure. So from that point of view, I think your brand's very clear. So what do you think your brand is?
Cool. I don't know. Like I do know what it is.
You do know.
Just really happy and natural, but kind of like to give people like confidence in themselves as well, and like embrace their like fun side, and just to get the best out of them.
Yeah, I'd say your branding is very kind of like, it's bold and it's bright and happy. And it is friendly. It's a friendly branding style.
Not aggressive at all. But yeah.
No, and it's also not kind of like overly pretentious.
Yeah.
Either. So you're not
seriously. Like I work hard and I think about what I do, but I'm quite light-hearted. And
yeah, and your photography, your photographs, your images, they are excellent images. I mean, I'd say you're mainly like almost like a reportage style photographer, capturing the day as it unfolds. But you equally can style a shoot or pose couples as needed. But from your weddings, the sort of the more pose shots still have that kind of natural, fun element to them whilst being beautiful. It's not sort of like backlit.
But I think it's like really important to be able to deliver on every single part of the wedding, and there's so many different bits and they all have to be strong. So like if you can do that, like that's what I try and do and try and improve all the time. And to get the reportage, it's like making people relax. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes to get those images and thinking going on, where to put them. Yeah.
So if you were talking about all the elements of a wedding, how would you break that down? So what would you say are the elements?
So you've got to be able to you've got to know what's going on and when. So you've got to have that timeline and made sure that you've like communicated clearly with your couple, like arranged to have a meet up or a conversation. Otherwise, you're just not going to know what's going on. And there's so many things which they won't think about. So you've got kind of like, obviously, if same-sex couple, then two bride preps, your groom preps, or bride and groom. Then the ceremony itself, getting to the venue, reception drinks if they want group photos, generally what's going on, the wedding breakfast, the tables, the details, if they've got any entertainment, anything like that, then up to the first dance, do they want any more photos? And just really understand your clients. They might give you a massive list and on the day they're kind of a bit overwhelmed and want less, but don't just think, oh, they don't want photos. Check with them, because if you don't deliver what they've asked for, then they're going to be upset. So just, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's sometimes a bit of perception in the industry, particularly like with blogs, you know, we have kind of almost perpetuated this a little bit, that there isn't really an interest in a more modern couple for a group shot or like a family kind of montage. I think that's a bit of a fallacy, really, isn't it?
Right. I think for me, they want every single person's wedding, their photographs get tailored to them. everyone that I've shot a wedding for, apart from one couple maybe, wanted the group photo. So it's like thinking, how can this happen? And how can it happen so everyone still has a good time and it doesn't take away from them having drinks and having fun? And they do, you know, they want photos with mums and dads. Sometimes they've got like a grandma or someone. And then sometimes on the day, they just go a bit bonkers and they decide they want 50 more photos. But it's their wedding and you've got to kind of make it happen and figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want a balance. They want the repertoire. They want you to back off, but they want to look back because there's people who aren't going to be there in 10 years' time. And they want to have photos of their faces and like being with them too.
Yeah, so, also as well, sometimes there is an element of they know that like grandma will want a picture. They know that their mum and dad will want a particular picture. So even if they're shooting their wedding in quite a modern style, they're still wanting to kind of keep the people that they love happy as well.
Like, so I always say to them as well in the pre-wed meeting, like, if there's someone who they want a photo with, like, just grab me, just be like, oh, Sarah, like, can we get a photo with them? Because it's not about me having like a perfectly polished like set of photos that make me feel good. It's them, it's their photos and their day. So like, if they want that, they can have it totally.
Yeah. And how do you get your brides and grooms to relax on the day, apart from the face gems? Like, how are you do you have a pre-wedding shoot with them beforehand? How do you work it?
No, but like, ideally, kind of when we have the pre-wedding meeting, it's nice if there's like both of them there, because it just helps both of them relax and they know who's going to be around. I think the fact that I do both preps means they both bet me. So by the time it's the ceremony as well, they're like, it's just her.
Yeah.
Things on her face. You know what I mean? And they know how I am and they can see I'm not scary. So I think all those things like really help. Every single person's different. So you can tell some people want me to shut up and some people like they need me to kind of like mumsy them a bit. Just everyone's different and that's like personal skills that I'm realising, I think.
Yeah, for sure. So I have two questions out of that from a business point of view. So pre-wedding shoots, you don't do those?
I can do if they want to, but it's
not.
I don't want to like stick loads of things onto the package so people like, but I don't want an album, I don't want this. So basically with me, they get like all the communication things they need, as many like phone calls, meetups as they want, and then all the photography on the day, and then the images on the gallery. Because if I start adding on things, and sometimes that's what I do. Anyway.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. It's because I think the pre-wedding shoot, some photographers, so Freya the other day, she really likes it as kind of like a way to get to know her couples, to relax them, but you relax your couples in a different way. So it's interesting to hear kind of like the two different perspectives. There's no kind of set way to do anything, is there, in business? It's more like what works for you.
You've got to figure out what's worked for you. And I've definitely got some couples where the guys are like, you know, not to be stereotypical, but they're like, oh, well, I'll have photos on the day and I'll do everything you want on the day, but I cannot be bothered having it before. Like, no. So kind of like to push them and back them into a corner, which is something they clearly don't want to do. It just wouldn't benefit me.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that. So my second question from what you were saying about your on the day stuff as well is how do you cope with the two bridal preps? Because
usually I'd go to like one for a little bit and then I'd go to the next one. So I've seen both of them, and then that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, it's impressive. I don't think I've come across someone who does both bridal preps, because I'm always kind of thinking people are using second shooters and that sort of thing. But no, it's good to know that you can do both.
Freak as well with that as well, because I think I want them to like know, like, dead easy, I'm the photographer, we've got that relationship like done, and I think sometimes maybe in the future I will have a second shooter, I'm not sure, but at the moment it works for me. And at a wedding, you know, people just know I'm the photographer and it's easy.
Yeah, that's also the thing, like, you don't have to stick to what you set out doing at the start. You don't have to sort of set rules for yourself and stick to them. Like, if Sarah decides she wants to offer pre-wedding shoots, if she decides she wants to work with a second shooter, she'll do that. It's kind of like, you don't have to kind of like be in a tribe of a particular sort of photography. And equally, your style of photography can also change and adapt with the times. You don't have to kind of set yourself out as, oh, I only shoot fine art, or I only shoot reportage style, or whatever. It can adapt. Like, business changes, people change.
Definitely. I think you can tell that from my weddings though. Like, if you look at them, like, they're totally different people. Like, it all feels like I've shot it, but the stories and venues are totally different. You can have like castles, barns, halls, manors. It's just all about getting the right people. It's so important to get the right client as well. That is important. Like, make sure they understand what they're getting with me. And
I think so. And I think the branding, going back to the branding, that's all about sort of finding the right client. And it's like a self-perpetuating thing, isn't it? That when you're shooting a particular sort of client that you want to be shooting, targeting your business towards those people, then the weddings that you're going to have to showcase are going to be that ideal client, and then it repeats. And then people who like that sort of work, your ideal client, see the work, book you, and so it goes forward. So I guess when you decided to go not full-time, but when you decided to set up your business, how did you kind of go from being like, right, okay, I'm going to be a wedding photographer, to booking your first weddings?
This is quite a long story.
Fine.
Okay, so I kind of started.
We've got a lot of time. We're in lockdown.
It was like, so basically, like, so when I came out of uni, it was like the recession. So I ended up, really, really hard to get a job, did loads of different things, which actually helped me long term in my business because I had loads of different skills, which I'd never had before. And it taught me, you've got to graft, put the effort in. So when my daughter was 1, everyone was going back to work, and I'd actually stopped working because, anyway, that's another story. I was like, I want to do something. Like, I've definitely got like more to give. Like, I love being a mom, I love being a wife, but like, I need to have a career and work hard and be creative. And I started off doing a baby group, taking photos. And then from that, I started doing private photo shoots and like newborn shoots. And then someone asked me to do a wedding, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this. Like, I don't want to do a wedding and do it bad. Like, if I do something, it has to be amazing. So I went off and did training, and then I got more bookings for weddings. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I've got like nearly 10 bookings in. So then I did like the mentorship with Johnny, and I was thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm good enough. And after 6 months, I was like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to be amazing, and like, just totally different attitude.
So those first 10 bookings for the weddings, where did they come from? Was it just kind of like word of mouth from your baby group, or
it was like,
was it working with Johnny, or?
It was people who'd seen photos I'd taken from like the family shoots on Facebook, because I started like, I did a lot of like outdoor shoots. I started off indoor, and I was like, I hate this. I just want to go outside. I want to find like pretty spots, like relax people. And so parents enjoyed it as well, like go away from the stage, like be more lifestyle. So it kind of went from there.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I love that kind of your mindset shifted from I'm not good enough after a little bit of support and help to like actually see yourself come through it. Sometimes I think it is important to find a mentor, or, even just a group of like-minded people that you can kind of bounce off. And
it's important, because you are harsh on yourself, like you can doubt yourself, be critical, but now I'm like, this is me, I'm happy being me. And you need to surround yourselves by the things that make you happy, make you feel positive, and because there's no point just ripping yourself to pieces. Like,
no. Sarah took that positivity to the next stage, whacked some face gems on it.
Oh yeah.
Getting me to the face gem level would be hard, and I put myself out there so much for I'm going to wear face gems. I'm going to wear them at our next wedding festival.
Oh my gosh, you need to. You know what, like, I took Maddie for a walk the other day on a bike, and then I had like mini ears on, not face gems, and like sunglasses, and it felt amazing. It makes you feel
I'm going to get myself some pink face gems for our next wedding festival shows in Cheshire that you're at, Sarah, actually. So you can hold me to that. So how then? So once you're up and running with your weddings, and it then just become a bit of a self-perpetuating thing, I'm guessing you got yourself a website, got yourself some space online in terms of like social channels and things like that. So how do you market your wedding services? How do you find new couples now in the current day?
I'd say most of them from Brides Up North.
Yes.
And they're kind
That's good to hear.
My couples. So I'd say like most of them, if we split actually 50-50, so half and half, and then half have been referrals from family shoots I've done, if I'm honest, because I do kind of like still do like some of those as well. And I've got really good solid relationships with those people because I've known them for years now and see them every few months. But yeah, Brides Up North is amazing.
So full disclosure here, so Sarah's a sponsor for ours on our site, and she also pays to be involved in Unveiled magazine because we have a print bill. These things cost money. So she is an advertiser with us as well in Unveiled. But what we try and do with all our sponsors and advertisers, and I don't want this to become a soapbox for me, so I'm going to keep it short, is we try and add lots of value back. So Sarah has shot our cover shoot, which we're going to come on to talking about for Unveiled. With Brides Up North, she also submits like real weddings a lot of the time, and we have features on there for her. We'll also support her via our social networks, and in person at the wedding shows, all this sort of thing. So if I know that once I really get to know a photographer who's working with us a lot, then like you're in my mind. So if it's like if someone is looking for a photographer for a style shoot, or who do you think's good? I'll be like, okay, Sarah's great. Or, you know, it's just a kind of a bit of a word of mouth thing. So it's not just an advert. But so if you start off with like Brides Up North blog, then it's not just really about it. It's we do our work in like putting your work on our blog, but then a photographer working with this, you kind of have your bit to do, because it's all about the sharing and the putting it out there, isn't it? So if you had a wedding on our blog, okay, it's up there. What would you do to get it out there?
Oh, definitely. I'll share it on my page and like tag the couples in and tell them all about it. But couples really like it as well. It makes them really excited and happy. It's such a prestigious thing to have your wedding featured on the blog. Like, you'd be absolutely made up, wouldn't you, to have it on there? It's lovely.
Yeah, we get that if photographers kind of have their feature, they do so much better from it, because obviously we share it across all our networks and things like that. But photographers can make it more, or anyone involved in the wedding actually, can make it more personal to that couple, because they can tag the couple, they know them, you know, put a bit of bantery chat on it, tag all suppliers, which we do anyway, but if someone else is doing it, it just almost snowballs, and then those photographers share it, they tag. And I think what you're really good at as well, not just the online stuff, but you're really good at sort of like building professional relationships with other people in the industry. So it is that snowball effect. So they would recommend you, they would like you to share your work. It's that sort of thing. So how have you kind of built your wedding industry network?
I think I've just been myself. People have been there. So, like, it's really important to have genuine, real relationships. There's no point being fake. You can do well just being yourself. So I've got some wonderful friends, like Stacey from Love Lights the Way. She's awesome. I went to the Spice Girls with her. I love Amy Louise Bellamy. She's a photographer too. But like,
can I just interject and say how annoyed I am that you went without me to the Spice Girls? Come on, girls. Like, come on.
In my defense, Stacey got the tickets and I was moving house and had no internet.
Stacey, I'm gonna be taking this up with Stacey. Anyway, moving on. So you're saying you mentioned someone else then as well.
Amy Louise Bellamy, like, she's a wedding photographer, but like, I love her. And you can love people who would like do the same thing as you. That's kind of like what's good. There's Balloon Smith. I love Balloon Smith. There's loads of people.
Yeah. And how did you meet them? How did you get to know these people?
Wedding fairs, and like, you with each other setting up, and then you chat to each other, you know, during the day, chat to each other at the end, and then you kind of become friends.
Yeah. One thing actually that's I didn't actually realize this, like, as a wedding fair provider, this is so weird that I didn't kind of clock onto this, but it's kind of come to my attention. I kind of knew it, I did, but I didn't kind of clock it. But so everyone is talking and chatting at a wedding show, and it is a really good place to kind of meet other suppliers as well as be booking your brides, if not more so in a way, because you kind of all together, you have time to chat. Even if you're busy, I think that a supplier should take the time to walk around and talk to all the other suppliers, you know, see it as a different way of marketing within that environment. It didn't really clock with me. I kind of want my suppliers to be busy with brides the whole time. But, you know, it's a different way of looking at it, that maybe a portion of the day they should be doing that and not just during setup.
Yeah, I think it's a really good community. It feels like a family. It just feels like you with all your friends. It's dead nice. You say hello, and you've got conversations you've had before with people that you ask about, and it's lovely. And I've been there before and struggling with my stuff to set up, and then like Nick is a photographer. He's come along and helped, and then Frank's come along and helped. It's just really nice.
When Sarah says she's been there before, she means every single time.
Yeah.
She basically gets the boys to set up her stand for her.
That's what I do.
Nick, Frank. The secret's out. But Nick and Frank, we were just talking about Nick Bryant, we're name checking here, and Frank Henschel, and what nice guys they are, and Stuart Hornby as well. We were talking about them just off camera, saying what a nice supportive community we have going on. So yeah, wedding shows, and also I guess through your work from that, and also, you know, networking events and parties you might attend within the industry that nice people host, like Andy Murphy's yearly networking, that sort of thing. Really although nice. I'm not sure anyone can really remember anything with it for that.
There's a really embarrassing video where me and Amy like crashed on the stage and we're dancing. Like,
oh gosh,
so
there's been many an embarrassing moment at those parties. But I guess that from like sort of making connections in that way, it's not just about kind of meeting on the wedding days as well. It's not really just about that stuff. It's also about you know, you might take the relationship further by kind of like doing a style shoot together.
Definitely, yeah.
That sort of thing. So we're going to talk a little bit more about styled shoots. So specifically in relation to those kind of creative days, what benefit do you get from being involved in a styled shoot, or what benefits?
So it's massive opportunities to work with like fantastic suppliers who you really respect in the industry, and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe I'm working with them. But also from that, like, I've got genuine friendships. So like Matt from Red Floral, like, I remember the first time I shot for him and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Matt from Red Floral. But now, like, I'll text him, he's a mate, and like he'll send me outrageous stuff, and it's genuine friendships. But like, you know, when you click with him, and there's like loads of people, dress designers, bridal boutiques, all sorts. It's just amazing. And creatively as well, it's like fantastic to work with people and have their inputs. Obviously on a wedding, I'm just like shooting kind of my way, but having other people go, well, I want this, I want that, it's just amazing.
Yeah, I think as well, it kind of breaks the barriers down a bit as well, doesn't it? Like you said about the lovely Matt in Red Floral, I'm still terrified of Matt.
Are you?
No, not really. Not really.
You know,
He is the nicest
we
guy.
got up on the table and we're singing Westlife like dead loud.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Anyone who loves Westlife, you know, is a friend of mine forever. Anyone who appreciates a key change. But it breaks the barriers down in that everyone's working together and having fun. And I think even with like sort of your top industry names, like we're really lucky to work directly with loads of designers and people like, you know, the greats like Caroline Castigliano, Suzanne Neville, Sassy Holford, all these amazing dress designers. And you realise after like sort of spending time and working with them that they're just like normal people like me or you who have a business and want to further that business and want to get on and work with people and be pleasant. And there's like nothing to be scared of in general with anyone in the industry.
I think that's really important there as well, like to kind of like not get an ego and let yourself like kind of keep grounded, keep down to earth, like even if you're successful, because yeah, it's important.
Absolutely, it really is absolutely important. And it's people with egos that you know, it's of no benefit to you to put yourself on that pedestal, because no one's going to want to work with you again. They're going to work with you once and think, oh well, you know, that was not fun. Like, you know, so lots of people will see me on a shoot day and I'm always the one with the broom. Do you know what I mean? I'm there to kind of like art direct, but I'm the one sweeping up. I'm like making the tea. I'm going to get the sandwiches at lunchtime.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you muck in and you get it done, whatever needs doing. You know, we hold the photography kit, we dress the model, we all do bits and bobs.
So like you hold everyone together, like everyone, no one feels like a spare part. You're like, this is what's going on, but in a gentle way, not like a scary like leader. And that's really important on a style shoot, because otherwise people are like, well, what am I doing? What's happening next? Things run over. Like, that's really good to be able to do that.
Yeah, I think on a style shoot, there's obviously the photographer is very key, but like coming to this from a photography business point of view as well, I think it's really important to remember that everyone's given their time, everyone's there for the same goal, and everyone has like, and this is from my point of view as well as like a creative director, like everyone has input to give, and your ideas are not necessarily the best ones, you know. So if you listen to everybody, but kind of keep to time and within reason, so you don't go off on a tangent, because there's nothing worse than going off on a tangent during a shoot, then you can, you know, make some really nice results, and actually you'll have got more out of that day because you'll have engaged with people, you will have taken on their ideas, you'll have created something maybe better than you would have already, and everyone goes away feeling like their voice is heard and that it's been really fun. And it's about having fun, essentially. Otherwise, why are we all doing it? So how would you suggest that photographers kind of get involved with these shoots in the first place?
I just think it is about kind of wedding fairs, meeting up with people, networking, like those relationships like need to be formed in person, really.
Yeah, so sort of make the relationships first before kind of like launching in with 2 feet.
I would like, some people might do really well from like email and doing that, but that's just not me. So I just,
yeah, no, I'd agree with you. I think it is important to make those relationships, and so that people know who you are.
Because there might be people who you really admire, but you meet in person, you think you're fantastic, but I just can't work with you because we've got totally different. Like, it's people who I get on with and be friends with, but it's like, you know what, we're going to kill each other when we do a shoot. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, the blacklist. So it's about kind of making those real relationships and then saying, hey, like, should we do something together?
Yeah.
Or equally, like, I guess under an umbrella like Unveiled magazine, it's my job as the editor to kind of pull together people that I think will work well together. We shoot probably about 6 or 7 or 8 shoots for each issue, and what I end up with is kind of like a whole lot of people on my virtual desk, and then I'm sort of making connections, thinking, okay, well, Sarah will work well with X person, we'll try that, and then so and so actually would probably be better suited to this venue or that or whatever, and that's how we put our shoots together. So yeah, it's about, first and foremost, definitely about personalities. Interesting. So just put my tongue. So on the day, a typical shoot. Talk us through it.
So everyone's having coffee or teas. It's like excitement, there's a buzz, like hair and makeup's going on, Beth Laurel setting up or whoever, there's balloons. And then we have our model comes in all dressed looking beautiful, and then we'll do like the first look, and you'll be like, hey Sarah, how about this? I'm like, yeah, that's an amazing idea, there's some music going on, probably Taylor Swift,
Ariana Grande.
And then like the next outfit change, and then we keep going and we get excited and maybe change things around, and that's how it works.
Yeah, and we change it up. We've actually you and I have shot in studio recently because we have been shooting for cover, but you don't have to be shooting in a studio. It could be in a venue, what's your favorite?
The Cheltenham Hall one was amazing. That was fun.
Yeah, really good. On location, this is at a Northumberland venue called Cheltenham Hall, which is really kind of eclectic, lots of colour pops, super cool, and a big cast of people that day.
It was so good. It was massive.
Great fun.
Like, every room was like completely different, had a different like vibe. It was just awesome. It was good.
Yeah, I think after that shoot, I think we both wanted to lie down in a dark room for about 4 weeks. Lockdown straight after that shoot would have been ideal, actually. So, and how long does the shoot take? So,
pretty much the whole day. Like I don't know, like 9 till 5, or maybe roughly 9 to 5, I'd say.
Yeah,
it's obviously a lot of prep beforehand that you guys do, and yeah, there's
a lot beforehand, and then on the day, I think we're there for the full amount of time because we want to kind of get the best shots. Equally, like, we don't push it, we don't kind of keep people there if they don't need to. Make sure everyone's fed and watered, as well as a practical point. If you're a photographer arranging your own shoot, you've got to make sure people have food, have water, have drinks, that they have rest breaks, that you're not going to put too much pressure on people, that your model has a break and doesn't faint.
I think on a style shoot, like, I prefer it when like you're directing. Then I can just like photograph and do my thing, as opposed to like, it's a lot of work managing people and getting people on times, and I want to be able to be the photographer, not the person like telling them off, or it kind of like affects everything else.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's an interesting point, that I would always say, like, to get a stylist, if a photographer is wanting to shoot their put together a style shoot, I'd say bring someone in as a stylist, or not even if you don't want to work with a stylist, bring someone in like someone just as manager, as a day manager, and it will kind of make that person the bad cop, who keeps everything to time, and just as a second eye to say, like, are you feeling this set up? Do you think it's consistent?
Yeah, I think you can bring so much more, like, if you do get someone to help with that. That's really important. And just things like when people don't mean to, but they get excited and they're taking photos for social media, which is totally fine. Like, that helps all of us because it's promoting it, but they're kind of like getting in the way, and like it's hard for me to kind of shoot in a certain way. And then you can say, and I don't have to say.
I just say, clear the set, back everyone. And no one minds. No one minds, as long as there's biscuits at the back of the room. So after the shoot, obviously if you are shooting for a print publication, it'll come out in print. Everyone gets their copy. We're going to do features on the website and on the socials. But if you're just shooting for yourself, like, how would you get maximum benefit from the shoot? Like, how would you use those images afterwards?
Kind of like need to make sure everyone's tagging everyone in them. So when every image is shared, like, everyone gets tagged, because otherwise it's not fair on people, is it really? And we just all try and like smash it on social media and get it out there.
Yeah, and actually you could also submit to like a blog like mine, so like Brides Up North or Unveiled, actually. And lots of your style shoots have, actually not always through you, so quite often some of Sarah's suppliers will submit to me, and we had a nice one recently at the Tetley. It was submitted by Lisa, someone else, and I'm
doing the Titanic wedding fair actually with you guys. That's how we met.
Is that how we met?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
That's how I met her. And I really liked it. I was like,
How did we meet? How did we meet?
We met at the Victoria Warehouse one. I came in like
Oh,
a jumpsuit with Jules, and you're like, who are you?
is that right?
Yeah.
Wow, it's interesting, isn't it? That's actually not that long ago.
No.
A couple of years. It feels like I've known you forever. Yeah, it's funny like how you meet people and then you're just friends and you just get each other, don't you? And then like we've worked together so much since then. I would say that after a style shoot, like make sure to use your images. So, you know, use them for your website, use them on the socials, send them to all the suppliers involved in the shoot. You'd be surprised how many photographers don't send them out.
You know, I actually bring a magazine with me to all my pre-wedding meetings or meetings with clients, and I give them it because I think it's really nice, and they're like really proud. They're like, oh, like my photographer like shot the cover or has like been featured and Unveiled, and it's a really nice thing to go away with.
It's also lovely for like a real couple to be featured in the magazine. So a couple of your real couples have had weddings, just the most gorgeous weddings, and those couples absolutely love it. And equally on the blog, like couples love to be featured on the blog, and they'll tell their friends, family, and then hopefully some of them, their friends and family will be over the getting married zone, and book you up, because I bet you get quite a lot of those. Like if people have seen you at a friend's wedding, do you get those?
Yeah, I do, definitely.
I'd have thought so. Because you never know. I'm asking Sarah this just in real time, so we haven't prepped this at all. I don't prep. After doing the job, doing the style shoot, and if you're working for a particular title, so whether for Unveiled or another title, from your point of view, what's it like? Because I'm only coming from it from my point of view. So what's it like working with an editor for print? Like what extra stages have you got to do, and what hoops have you got to jump through? And
I've been quite lucky because it's been like venue spotlight, so I've kind of like submitted the photos, the gallery to the magazine, and then they've chosen the ones they wanted and put it in, and I've not really had to do much. I'm trying to think anything else. Maybe
that's great.
They've had to I've had to edit more, but that's it really.
For us, for our cover process, we're quite intense because obviously a cover has to look pretty smart, and then if you've kind of lifted for the cover color wise, because we lift the colour a bit for our cover, don't we?
Yes.
Because of the paper we use, which is amazing paper, but it just causes a few issues. Pre-print. Our printers are also amazing, but it's just getting it right for everybody. But so then you want to lift your images for internals as well, so it kind of all works as a set. So for us, it's quite a bit of editing. Like, do you find that annoying, or is it all just part of the process for you?
No, it's just like can't take it personally. It just is what it is. Let's get it right. So if it looks a bit cool, I'll be like, oh, that kind of needs to be warmer because she looks ill. Let's just be honest and use our talents and get it right.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important that I like that Sarah will say to me, I don't think that's looking right, like the colours are all off or whatever, because my skill is in styling and writing and editing and drawing it all together. My skill isn't in spotting colour differences or preparing a file for print. You know, we have another Sarah, our amazing designer, who works on that, and then Sarah was working on cover with her, and together they were able to kind of spot things and pick up on stuff that I just couldn't see. Like, my eyes can't see these things, and it would have gone to print with some, it would look terrible, to be honest.
There's no point me kind of being quiet about it, because I don't want people to think that I shoot a certain way. Like, I want them to think like healthy skin tones and, you know, the right sort of look. So it's just really important to be confident enough to say in those situations, like, I wasn't being difficult. I was
not at all. We would have had a terrible result.
It was like being brave and just saying it, because we all want we want it to be the best, don't we? So
yeah, so I think that's the message to, like, to someone who's working in your field is, you know, speak up. So if someone's using an image of yours in a way you don't think is appropriate, if someone hasn't tagged you, if you know, an image is the wrong color before print, like whatever, like just say it, but say it in a nice way, but say it, and then more often than not, people will just sort it out.
You know what, I'm actually a hypocrite then, because sometimes, you know, if people like share my images and put a filter on, I'm like, oh, it's so annoying, but I can't be bothered to say anything. I'm like, oh well.
Yeah, but know your level. So if that's not really bothering you, fine, because you decide, oh, actually it's better they're sharing that, and you know, that's cool that that's being shared. Yeah.
A bit inside.
If it looks awful though, you know, you maybe should step up and say, like, oh, would you mind just sharing the original? It's about gauging it, isn't it, and deciding kind of like where it lies, because you don't want to be known as like the photographer who's making people take the images down. Yeah, because they'll just never want to work with you.
It's just now and again, and you're like, oh.
Eek. so how does it feel to see your work in print or on a blog or on the cover? How does it feel?
Like amazing. Like I'm so happy. Like it's such a good feeling. It's amazing. Like
Yeah, because you're a
it's a team effort and
superstar.
everything, but you just feel like so proud and happy, and you're like, Mom, come and look at what I've done.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
always
God,
send the
I'm
first
happy.
copy of I'm like nearly 40. Well, I'm 38. And I send the first issue of Unveiled to like my mum and dad, like every time, and be like, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I know it's good. But you know, you're like, is it all right?
All right.
And then they deliver their verdict.
Yeah, oh, are you sure? Are you sure you like it? Yes.
Yeah, they're like, okay, shut up now, that's fine. So what would be like, say, a couple of top tips for someone looking to get into wedding photography and to do it well?
Kind of start from the beginning and then work your way up. So make sure you understand how to shoot, figure out who you are. As you don't just jump into something in case you're like being a photographer who you're not. Like it's really, really important to figure out who your audience is. It's a really competitive industry, and kind of I think as soon as you say I'm a photographer, you're in the spotlight. So kind of like do as much work and training as you can, and then get it right. Go boom and go for it.
Yeah. So do the prep.
Yeah,
before
massively.
you kind of put yourself out there.
And the first year, I really like didn't want to be in the spotlight when I was just shooting, because I was like, you're gonna make mistakes, you're learning. Don't do them when you're saying Sarah Glynn photography. Like, do them when you're learning.
Yeah, you're right, and it is not to like sort of scare anyone off here, but you've got to know what you're getting into, and it is a competitive industry, and people do talk, and it's a big industry, but it's also a very small industry, weirdly, and like social media makes it very easy for people to have opinions and forums, and you know, people chat. And I think my advice to someone who's kind of set up in it would be to be kind and remember that you sort of started out at some stage, and not to be kind of freaked out by the new talents coming through. But my advice to someone as a new talent coming through would be to be respectful, like, you know that these people have been here before you. If you want to work with them, don't just, you know, kind of approach them as you would approach someone to be a friend, and actually make real relationships.
On that note as well, I'd say like work hard, but don't kind of like just climb on people to get to the top as well, because I guess sadly like a reason why I haven't had a second shooter is because there's just like so many people out there that have like used people to kind of get where they want to be, you know, and then just left them. Like just be a good person.
Yeah, for sure. I obviously get a lot of that in my role, so people will forge friendships with me and use me. I can see them coming a mile off now, but I have been sort of stung in the past. And I just, you know what, you let it go, and you just think each to their own. But you have a long memory, so you know
it hurts as well.
Yeah,
like,
it hurts, but you remember. You definitely remember. So like, you know, if people use you and then they want to work with you in the future, you just think, well, absolutely not. No way. It's interesting. But on a positive note, anyone who's just in it for the right reasons, you know, we, on the whole, you know, we will work with people. We will give people shots and give them freebies, and, you know, give them chances and all this sort of stuff. But, you know, it's the good people who are willing to give back a bit and, you know, support the print bill and do this and that, and they'll get extra freebies and extra good stuff. And, you know, it's when you know that someone's in it for the right reasons and they're being fair, then you'll also be fair and you'll work with them. And together you can build something really super cool.
Yeah.
And, you know, really help each other's businesses and those of the industry around you. And that's what we're all about, really. So how can creatives and couples see more of your work? Where do they find you?
There's loads of my work in Unveiled magazine on the blog. There's loads if they go on my website, I've got loads and loads of like photos on there and galleries, loads on Facebook. Instagram, if you want some like randomness, go on my Insta stories. I'm always doing something weird on there. Yeah, and with other suppliers.
So what we'll do is we'll drop all the links here. So this is Sarah's web address. You can find her there. And then it's like magic. Her Instagram address is there. So please do go and check out all of those links and see some of Sarah's work, because we've been chatting for ages now. And if you haven't already gone and checked her out, then you might want to go and have a look and then watch this all back again, because you'll be so inspired by what you see. So thank you, Sarah, for being an amazing guest.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely chatting to you. I missed you.
Yeah, I missed you too. And we'll hopefully see you at a wedding show or in a magazine. So, over now.